Thanks for staying with us. Now, the security architecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy was compromised early this morning by unknown gunmen who gained access into the residential area within the academy in Afaka. During the unfortunate incident, we lost 2 personnel and 1 was abducted. The academy, in collaboration with the 1 Division, Nigerian Army and Air Training Command, as well as other security agencies in Kaduna, has since commenced the pursuit of the unknown gunmen within the general area, with a view to tackling or tracking them and rescue the abducted personnel. The NDA community and the cadets are safe in the academy. We assure the general public that this unknown gunmen would soon be apprehended and abducted personnel rescued. Now, this was a statement that was released after the unfortunate attack of the Nigerian Defense Academy in Afaka. Statements like these are not new to Nigerians, as we usually would hear the phrase, "will soon be apprehended" or "we are winning the war." Our question tonight is, how safe are we? What's the true state of our security, and who really are our gatekeepers in Nigeria? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So I want to come to you, Uti and Elsie, quickly before I bring in our guests. Who do you think our gatekeepers are in Nigeria?
We don't have, so maybe Elsie knows them.
We have overflowed this conversation. I'm tired. So thank God we have a guest. Maybe the guest knows, security people. They would know who their gatekeepers are. So.
Okay.
Try again.
I'm not even going to.
Do you understand?
No.
That's the wrong question.
No.
It's okay. Let's just move on.
If I tell you what's on my mind, the answer, maybe DSS will be waiting for me. So let me just keep quiet. But in all honesty, security issues are overflowed. But can we help ourselves not to talk about it?
We need solutions, really. Solutions. And that's why we're doing this. So let's get to solutions. Hopefully someone is listening.
It would be dangerous not to talk about it, because one of the things that social media allows us to see is how much is truly happening. Because we live in bubbles. As long as it's not on your doorstep, as long as it hasn't affected somebody that you know. In fact, we're now so desensitized that it has to affect somebody close to you for it to really impact you. So we can't stop talking about it. We can't stop shining spotlights on different parts of the country, different experiences people have. I mean, it starts off like a joke. You roll your eyes when your mother or your auntie sends you some forwarded message on WhatsApp. But these days, you have to pay attention. You may not take everything hook, line, and sinker, but you will read it, just to be sure that it's not the one that you chose not to read that becomes the reality. So it's very, very worrying times. I always say it here, people who don't believe in God, I don't know how you do it in Nigeria, but to each their own.
Oluwafemi Olatunji Aratokun-Ale is a security consultant, hostile environment close protector, the CEO of Target Search Global Nigeria, and the author, Making Places Safe in Nigeria. He's a security expert, and he's joined in live with us in studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
I want you guys to, put a beautiful smile. It's not yet bad.
Smiling.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like that you're saying that.
Yeah.
So
It's not bad.
So,
is Nigeria a hostile environment?
Well, to me, I'll put it into phrases, yes and no.
Okay.
The no is this: if we put our house together, we go. But the yes is because a lot of people seem to have politicized everything, so it's a yes.
So it's a hostile environment.
Yes. So when you talk about politicizing, I like that you went that way, because these ladies always blame the government. It's not that I don't blame the government, but I also benefit of the doubt. A lot of conspiracy theorists or naysayers will say the government has a hand in this. They're sponsoring the thugs, they're buying the weapons, they're doing all of these things. What, in your opinion, is the true source of where we are today?
Well, as I've said, the moment I came into the studio, I pointed straight at you and I said 2014, here we are today. Your View Show, TVC. I remember that conversation then, that was during the Chibok girls, right? And I said, if the government refused to put their houses in order, we will keep on and we will go on and on and on and on and on. The biggest problem is this. We have the strength, we've got the power, we've got the might, but what about mentality? What about the boost? What about the welfare package? How do we motivate who are meant to be the real gatekeepers? So in all honesty, the government seems to have a blame. So we should give them this.
I like what you said about the real gatekeepers, because the answer I have for who our gatekeepers are,
we know what our gatekeepers are security officers, and including you and me.
Wait, that's
we have already,
that's not my answer in my head, though.
Hold on. We have already failed as a people in our own entity. The question is this: how well do you even ask questions? How well do you ask the security next to you in this very building questions? Have you bothered asking, when was the last time you had a refresher training program? The threat we face today wasn't the threat we were facing 40, 50 years ago.
Are we supposed to be asking policemen these questions? Or are you
Why not have a forum to ask them exactly what is going on?
But when you talk about refresher,
no, you've not.
There's the implication when you say refresher that there was a training.
There was a training in the first place. There was no training, but I won't even. Let's bring it back home. This NDA matter that happened.
No. Before you bring in
to NDA, okay.
Let us start from before Amotekun. Let us start from before Lagos Neighbor Safety Corps. I'm bringing it back home, right? Let us start from not before vigilantes. Let us start from Nigerian Police Force.
Okay.
What have we been able to achieve through them? What criteria have we set? What legacy seems to have been left behind? What vacuum has been exposed to create all these other extra agencies? Now, 1999, 2020, 2000, and all the rest. Civil defense came in. What has happened? You can see that there's a trace somewhere. What is the trace? Lack of proper training program, lack of proper welfare, lack of proper materials for them to use. If they have been given the right resources and given the proper training, in all honesty, we won't be talking about second.
Let's talk NDA. I'll bring you back there.
Because
I'm bringing something up.
Because we're getting somewhere.
Something up.
But my
and which
is,
people don't know, which Nigerians don't know.
No, Nigerians know.
They don't.
Look, let me remind you, not far off now.
Okay,
hold on.
Let me shock you now. Let me shock you. 2016, from somewhere I was contacted. And I wrote the proposal for Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps. But look at them on the road. Do they look like people patrolling the streets? Where do you see them?
Believe me, I have
across the junctions, pitching around with traffic warnings. And last man, is that their job?
I have encountered people like you, like many who are passionate about Nigeria.
I am not just only passionate.
Proposals.
I'm not even writing proposals
giving
again.
them solutions.
Hold on, right? I am not just writing proposals again. I go around to even deliver training programs. I'm in Nigeria because I want to deliver training programs. I have done so to some police stations. With my own hand money, I'm not asking the government to give me back. Because I don't want a situation whereby my children, my grandchildren will ask me, Dad, you call this country your country. What have you been able to do so far? So I want to have a say. And my say is this: I have done my best. And my best can be written all over the world. Before coming to your studio, I was in a training program. So I am not even using Nigerian resources. I am using a complete new system.
So are you trying to tell me that the only problem that you think we have security-wise is that these personnel are not properly trained?
It's not only that.
You even started from the place of mindset.
Yeah.
Aside from place of mindset and mentality.
Force.
Yeah.
Are they the right kind of people to join the force? Because there's only so much training can take you. If your mindset is already warped, we hear the amount of money that people pay to get into these organizations.
Why would they pay money in the first place to get into the force? Because you want to serve your country. It should be something that is like a pride.
To serve Nigeria.
To serve Nigeria. It is not meant to be a forceful thing. It is not meant to be like, let me cut corners From cutting corners, you have already.
But they
broken the
know
rules.
that the reason they are cutting corners to go into this security parastatal is because when they get there, there is a lot of money to be made.
What's
There's a lot
money?
of You're
talking
calm
about,
down.
right?
There's a system. Yes, you can't run away from our reality. Our reality in our what's it called, police structure, our military structure. There's a lot of corruption in that system, and the corruption has taken the front burner compared to the people that are ready to say they want to serve. So it is more of I am going there for what I need to gain from it than going there to what I want to give. So that mindset that you talked about from the beginning, I am still going back to the question, where do you think we're getting it wrong security-wise? Because it's not for lack of trained personnel. I'm trying to bring that back because I have seen the kinds of training some of these personnel they have in the military. I'm not even talking about police right now. In the military, they have trainings. So this is beyond training. This is a place where people are willing to compromise. Why are they willing to compromise on the security and the safety?
I have said it to you before. Politically, we got it wrong. Because when you have too many politicians saying too many things, even some people have got no ideas what security is all about. But you see them talking from the blueprints of the textbooks about security. Security is not just about textbooks. It's about reality of what is on ground. The reality of what is on ground has not really been preached to our security personnel in the way they are meant to be preached. That is the simple truth.
So tell us how they are meant to be preached. Because it seems like...
the way and manner they are meant to be preached is you go by what is really in vogue at the moment. What threat are we faced with?
Okay.
The threat we were faced with some years ago. You saw this, somebody stole a pot of soup, blah, 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 yam, and all the rest. But right now, you can see bodies. You can see machete. You can see ammunitions everywhere. In fact, everywhere is so porous that we don't even know what is what. So the question is, why can't we go back to the drawing table and draw a new security architectural design that will suit Nigeria, that will suit Nigerians, and that will suit everybody?
So if you were to draw one, where would you start from?
We start from the basis.
Which is?
We start back again from how do we recruit? Who are we recruiting? What is their background? You don't have to be probably brilliant or this or that, but there are steps you need to take.
But that's a long-term solution. Like,
It is
we are
not a
here.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
it is-
Do you fire everyone?
We are here.
No,
What do we do
It is
from
not
here?
a long-term solution because I have been dealing with some set of police officers that look within their mindset, they are willing to learn, they are willing to deliver. But again, what is the leadership body saying? Some of these so-called politicians are even part of the problems. Some of the business owners are part of the problems. Some of the school principals, some of the school owners are part of the problems. Some of the security owners themselves are part of the problem. So we are our own problems. It is not from the outside, it is not from the foreign land, but it is within. And a solution that should take place should come from within. The question is this, are we telling ourselves the real truth about this issue, or we're just mouth-quoting it?
I don't know that we are the problem. So
you don't think so?
No. So
really?
So here's my take on it. If we put it at the foot of the people, we can piggyback to October last year when the people said, you know what, SARS gotta go.
Okay.
And
that's the point they made.
Thank you. That's what I was going to.
There was SARS,
there
was SARS, there was SWAT, then there was no SWAT, then there was crime, then they said it was because you people said. So, I mean, we can talk about this vicious cycle, but I really don't want us to keep sort of... In Nigeria, we have problems today. We have economic problems, we have people problems, mindset problems. The real thing we have not talked about is corruption. We have corruption in this country. It is a problem. So when we talk about the security, the entire security infrastructure, right? It feels to me like, how do we break it down? Now, corruption is not going anywhere anytime soon. And in fact, it occurs everywhere in the world. So the absence of the judiciary is another problem because I know I can get away with it. So I say that it's fine. Now, if we're talking about solutions and real solutions, because I think that recruiting and culture and all those things is long-term, like Elsie said, how do we start to break it down? Because every region of the country today is facing different challenges. when we talk about rejigging that infrastructure, what are the real things that we can start saying, this is what we can do, you and I, even if the government is missing?
That's fine. I love the question and the way you actually put it. Remember, aside from making places safe, I sat down one day in London and I'm like, okay, what do we even do in Nigeria? Do we just start different security training programs, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that? Knowing well that at the end of the day, it's all about how do we keep ourselves safe. So the question is this, how do we make places safe is key. The only way I think is this, let us start a different training program that can be tailored down to different departments.
Oh God.
I will tell you why. Hold on, I will tell you, let me tell you why. I tried the project and it's worked.
Okay.
So I have given it to the police, it worked. I have given it to the civil defense and it's working. One way or the other. I'm not saying in a large whatever, but in bits. So all I'm saying is this, if the political tone can be positive and can adopt it, it will work. But because they are not like, thinking about it, it is really not their business because they have large crowd of police officers or securities around them. They are not feeling the pain of what Nigerians are going through.
Okay, so I want to come back to what, no, not NDA, what Abacha said, that if insurgency lasts beyond 24 hours, the hand of the government is in it. But we'll do that after the break. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we are having a conversation around Nigeria and her security and her people, of course, her gatekeepers with Femi. Now, remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. So before we went on a break, I mentioned what late General Sani Abacha had said about insecurity. If insurgency lasts beyond 24 hours, the hand of the government is in it. And this is why I will still fault that summation that you keep coming to say, okay, we are having a training problem. Do you understand? It's beyond just saying we are training personnel. If the government, if there's no willpower to say this is what we want to do and we want to stand for protecting the life of every citizen in the country, I do not think no matter how many trainings you go for, nothing is going to change. So tell me, how is the government, what is the role of the government in our security architecture in the country?
When we started this conversation, I told you that, listen, there is a political undertone.
You have not explained it all.
Well, okay.
Maybe because you're a security person, you're being careful what you say. You've not explained. What's the meaning of security undertone?
Political undertone.
I mean, political undertone,
the political undertone is this. Some people seem to have privilege of, let me have this contract, or let me have this business so that I can procure or secure or provide A, X, Y, Z. So in doing so, remember what happened during Jonathan's regime? A lot of billions seems to have been swept under the carpet. Up till now, no one is saying anything again. So this is a political undertone. Again, it's happening in this present regime.
Uti took a story about the abducted major.
Right.
And said they are demanding for 200 million naira ransom.
That's a slap.
Kidnapping is a business now.
Yeah.
Who or how is the government aiding this business?
Well, remember, there was a man that came out live and, said that, look, I can negotiate with the criminals because I don't want to call them bandits or call them this name or that name. When you have a crime is a crime. So I see them as criminals. Now, what are the DSS doing? What is the government doing? Have we tried to even say, put ourselves together and like, hang on a minute. If you know these people, why don't we look for a way to prosecute them? Or if you can get Nnamdi Kanu and start chasing Sunday Igboho, I don't see why we can just give a slap or tell them that, they are repentant now, they are born again now, this one, blah, 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 and stuff like that, and just let it go. So there is a political undertone. End of story. From the government, from the governors, from the senators, from whoever you call it, there is a political undertone. If you want to tell me there is none, give an example. How many police officers or security officers do follow all these politicians around? So this is where the political undertone comes from. this is one key place that we need to look into that we're not looking into that.
So, I mean, I
Yeah.
think my head is aching already.
Right.
But how would proper training have solved the NDA issue? Because I think it's high time we get there, because before you know it, time is gone.
Okay.
That is scary, because if the security work of the NDA can be breached, then where exactly is safe? So I think we should get to that point.
Yeah, let's start from here. Nigerian Defense Academy happens to be the bedrock, the waterbed of the future security of our countries, because the people we're training there are people that we're looking up to that, you know what, after serving, after graduating, they're going to secure, because the old folks are going to go. So we're going to have a new set of people. The question is this: what led to what happened? There's what I call burnout. In security terms, there's what you call burnout. And again, what kind of materials are we even using in this NDA? Yes, it's classified. We don't really need to know. But again, how could criminals, breach completely to that area is beyond me. And I think a lot of...
So it's not training?
Yes, it is not training. I will tell you why I said it's not training. It is politically...
On that one.
So are you trying to say that I've seen some reports saying there was maybe an inside job or something?
Yes, it is not about training, but a lot of lapses just went. So they shouldn't just say, oh, because somebody was sleeping inside the CCTV room, that's the disgrace. It is just not right. You don't, even the spokesman that will say that should think twice before saying things like that.
Okay.
Just wait.
Okay, say it.
Mine is simple.
It's a disgrace. It's a laughing issue right now globally. I don't think we need to tolerate that.
When you say not tolerate it, please, what are we going to do about it? But no, that's not my question.
Okay.
Please, time is running out, like I said, she said. And I'm very interested in, we know that the size of the gatekeeper security forces, whatever you want to call it, is largely inadequate. And the more our issues spread and grow across different regions of the country, we have issues. Now, we used to have support from Chad before the passing of the late Chadian president.
Okay.
And we've also had instances in the past where we have hired mercenaries.
Right. Okay.
So I want to hear your take, because the Northeast is creeping. The more we feel like it's just in the Northeast, it's changing our lives. Is that a real solution of getting trained forces? Mercenaries is such a negative word, but those kind of forces that can come in and really start to change the narrative. Because when you look at all these rankings, I think we were talking about a ranking that said Nigeria was number 2 or something of the most terrorism
index.
If we don't tackle this, it's almost like at some point it's going to come in from all sides of Nigeria, and we're just going to implode. So we need some real solutions beyond drone, because every day I read the news, they say, oh, it's a drone attack. What do we really do?
As I've said, you see, what we need to start thinking about right now is this. Do we need to change the strategy of how we secure our environment, or we just go by the normal norms? I think it's high time we change the strategy. And to change the strategy, every inclusive effort is needed. Let me put it that way. When I mean every inclusive effort, not only from the politicians, not from the government alone, but everybody is inclusive right now. Even from the diaspora. We need to start looking into, okay, what can you do? What can you do? Let's bring in fresh ideas.
Okay, so I like where you were going with the everybody is involved, because I know that currently we are not security conscious.
Agree.
I mean, you just enter, drive, park your car, you come into the building, you not pay attention to your environment.
Which is what is meant to be before.
Yes.
No, I say, what's it supposed to
How are you not hypersensitive to your environment right now?
That's what I'm saying.
I am.
I'm pointing her. I'm pointing her.
Okay. You see, to be
She admitted it.
No, explain. So I come into a compound and I park and I go in.
Yeah.
Okay, so enlighten people like me.
So
what are we supposed to be doing?
The reason I brought that illustration out is that a lot is going on.
Right.
If you go on the roads or in communities and estates, who are the people that are the gatekeepers? Who are the security operatives there?
Okay.
Most of them, let me land, most of them are non-Nigerians. They do not speak our language.
Our language.
We don't even know who they are. And they are gathering themselves in numbers. This one is inviting his brother, this one is inviting his uncle. They are all around us. So if we say tomorrow that we want to fight insecurity as a people, let's even leave the security personnel. What are the things that we must arm ourselves with? What are the things that we as citizens, we need to pay attention to?
Okay, based on the typical example you just gave to me, my first take is this. Who are landlord associations?
Okay.
What are they doing? Have we, as probably landlords and tenants, seems to have asked, look, we keep seeing so many faces around. Who are those in each building? How do we kind of get to know who is who? And if we start seeing different faces, how do we approach and talk to them? In so many places I've seen so far in Lagos now, they seem to have like a gate and, we have some security men mounting the gates. That's fine in a way, in quotes, but the question is are they really doing the proper job they are meant to do? In what manner are they patrolling the environment they're actually safeguarding? Which I've seen in a whole lot of places. The answer is sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Or perhaps they are just overwhelmed with the whole situation that, no one cares about me, no one is thinking about me, so let me just sit by the gate, let me just open. Have a nice day, sir.
So when we do find some kind of negative things or we see things, we observe things, what are we supposed to do? How do we report?
Well, there should be a response team
system
or a response system or whereby, you report and you get a feedback instantly. This is where you now start to think of technology that will work for not your environment only, but that will have a response answer straight from the security forces.
Okay, let's take some comments.
Okay. So I have a message here from Emmanuel from Abuja. He said bandits have been knocking on the doors of NDA for a while now with anybody noticing or completely ignored. The schools of forestry where students were kidnapped in Abuja is a stone throw to the NDA. The train station that Minister of Transport was almost kidnapped is a stone throw to the NDA. The Kaduna's airport that you can pass early in the morning or late in the evening is behind NDA. So the bandits have been there operating with nobody saying anything.
So basically that means there is a threat almost
That's why I
time.
asked that question, because a lot of people said that these people live around that area. So you as a person, right? That's why I said it's beyond even training the personnel. You as a person, how are you even observing the people that are living within your community?
I think the real question is this last question you asked, which is, so when we observe,
what do we do?
What did they do with
But
it?
let's take more comments.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Another one from Tella says, the main problem to me, aside corruption and politics, is the fact that we are still using the 1960s approach to talk the modern-day security threats. Remove corruption and politics, there won't be an appreciable progress. Today, we are still relying on human beings solely for security, whereas other same countries are using latest technology to fight and gather intelligence. Technology and data to gather intelligence is non-existent here. Then throw in accountability, then you really understand. Radio, satellites, and the likes would have picked intelligence reports on the events of yesterday, but no, here. And how can they justify trillions spent? Data gathering is also key. Thank you, Tella.
So I think mine just wraps it up nicely. This is from Benson. It says, greetings to everyone. Please let the guests give us 1, immediate short-term security solutions, 2, mid-term solutions, and 3, long-term solutions.
He has given long-term, is there any short-term?
Mid-term.
Well, I don't know, maybe you guys, you must definitely know about this. Some years ago in America and UK, there was a whole lot of white police officers harassing black minorities and stuff like that. The first thing that the government did was just like, let us roll out emergency body cam. That if any police officer is arresting or talking back to anyone, switch on your body cam, please. For how long are we going to keep talking about technology? We don't have the body cam. The Lagos State government seems to have, piloted one that we're yet to see. And they're talking about last
say
month.
that because
People that are carrying guns that's supposed to be used
to fall off my chair.
during the war, we wear body cam.
The question is this, where are they? Do we need to start doing commissioning and celebrating before we have things? No. The body cam we're actually talking about, these are stuff I've been using for the past 3-4 years in my training program in Lagos State over here. So why are we not making it as
like a big deal?
A big deal like we're trying to have Christmas. So as I've said, our political body tone is saying a lot, and we're not talking about it. And come 2023, that is really, really knocking, how many souls are we going to be losing before we start smelling and seeing the reality that we're nowhere there at all? And you're telling me you don't want the youngsters to leave the country. They are leaving the country not for all reasons, but they just want the basic things of life.
Okay, so
that we refuse to produce.
No nation can ever achieve meaningful strides in security development where there is an absence of synergy.
Yeah.
Let's start by holding our security officers accountable for their negligence and dismal performance. How can illiterates and miscreants keep on overwhelming our security operatives? Haba, that's from Rafael Akori.
Because they are in collaboration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say it this way: we have dirty cops and we have good cops. But the question is this.
Let me say something before you go there.
Okay.
I was in university 2000 and I was in school 2002 to 2005.
Right.
I think it was my school, maybe 2003 or 4. These guys came in military uniforms to come to the banks in our school. They had guns, machine guns. One faced the police station. I've said this story several times in different quota. These people that went into NDA, they didn't go, they were fully dressed. They went incognito. I mean, they speak their English for security. They entered the place and they didn't know. So this strategy of using military uniforms and all of these things have been in existence. Do you understand? So if we keep having this, how do we even find a solution? Because it's not even beyond, it's beyond even saying, you know what? Let me leave my matter.
Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged.
So where is the hope, please?
Let me help you from there. The point is this. If there's a way you think a lot of lapses have been designed, then why not let us reshape, redesign it again? People going in and out from NDA and going in and all the rest. The question is this, why not check it this way? If you're not authorized, you cannot go in. Even with military uniform, you must have a reason going in and coming out. It's just like secondary school. If you want to go out, there should be like
an exit
permission paper. So if you want to come in, there should be at least checks. Probably maybe from 400 meters away, A, X, Y, Z. There are ways you can actually curtail things.
So you've talked about going back to the drawing board, redesigning, training. Whose job is it, aside to you now?
Aside me, the
Whose job is it
to do it? The government,
of
course.
What part of the government?
We have the NSA, we have the Chief of Defense Staff, we have the police, IG, we have a lot of them.
Okay.
I believe being there makes them brilliant people. So they should come up with big solution. If they don't have it, consult your consultant.
Like
is it the same chiefs they keep changing every year?
The one that Brian said that he should change them now.
They say they want to change them.
Okay, if they're not performing
because his
well,
legacy cannot be insecurity.
You have loads of Nigerians abroad that are seriously reading, and you have some of them here in Nigeria that are ready to do. The can-do attitude is in us, but have we been given the platform to do it is the question.
The political
I can see that you have the can-do attitude. So for people that are listening, please consult him. Now, before we go, do ensure you follow us. Thank you, ladies. I think today I'm just not happy, but we will survive. Before we go, we move. Do follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Waze brand. So follow us now. It's at PlusTvAfrica. If you missed today's quote, I always bring this quote when I'm talking security. It says, if insurgency lasts beyond 24 hours or for more than 24 hours, the government has a hand in it. That's from late General Sani Abacha. We'll see you tomorrow as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.